So here we are in the Henry Ford Museum, and we're looking at one of the centerpiece exhibits, C&O 1601, a 2666 type Allegheney. The most powerful steam locomotive ever built. I'm going to walk around it and just give you a sheer look at the size of this engine. It's in pretty good shape considering it was retired in 1956 and came here under its own power. And then they pushed it into the museum, and they had to make a few modifications to the doors on the building. Here's the model. We got touch button on the button. Obviously, that's the sound of the 1225's bell, and just record off that. But the whistle, yeah, that's an Allegheney Hoover whistle. So it's a pretty interesting model. As for the full-size version, again, built by the Lima Locomotive Works in 1941. You can see the builder's plate there. Pretty much the same as the 1225, just slightly older. Actually, I think it says 21 right there, 7,821. So 18 locomotives before the 1225. So probably around August or September of 1941. 1225 was built in October. Anyway, the interesting thing about it is, along with a lot of display locomotives and later locomotives that were repainted, is the white on all the running gear, as well as the white walled tires, which it probably would have had when it was built anyway, because when Lima took photographs, it liked features on locomotives to stand out, specifically the running boards and the driving wheels. So all the rods were painted white when delivered here, and it's kept in pretty good shape since. You can see the different pieces on here. A little chipping, but it's in pretty good shape. See, on this side, it's still got all the lubrication pieces on it. See where the inlet is for the hard grease. On the other side, I think it's missing a couple of pieces. But anyway, we got the steam ports on the side, the steam chest, got exhaust up there, and cylinder cocks at the bottom, and they're all air powered. So that way, in order to close them, you have to turn the air on to shut the valve. Otherwise, by default, they open up to blow the steam out. Up here we have the oiler for the valve oil on the engineer side, just like on the 1225 and a lot of other steam locomotives. Of course, the valve oil is the heavier oil. That's when they removed the crank arm off of, I think they removed them off all of them, so that way you can't come in here and crank oil through it. But as you can see, based on the indicator, it's empty, so that shouldn't really be a problem. Anyway, looking at the valve gear up top, you can see this is a Baker valve heavy travel kind of gear. Baker being usually you can tell Baker by a triangle shape like on the 1225 is, but on this one it's got the crossbar instead, but you can still tell it's a little bit different just based on the travel bar. Now in this case you can tell that the locomotive is in the reverse position. If this rocker arm were forward, it would be in the forward position, whereas in the middle is neutral. So everything on here is in pretty good shape, especially since it's been inside all this time. On this side, they do have the crank arm. So on the, this is the engine oil. And this will lubricate all the parts on the outside. You can see here, it is a Nathan DV7 type oiler, just like on the 1225. And actually, a lot of Nathan oilers on locomotives were the same. A lot of DV7s on the big ones. I know the big boys had them. So it's only fitting that the Alleghenys had the DV7 type also. Only the best of the best. This side, pretty much the same. Only 90 degree difference in the turn of the wheels. Just massive, this locomotive is. It's the most powerful steam locomotive ever built. Over 7,000 horsepower, nearly 8,000 some of them were tested to get. So you think that's a lot of horsepower at just the right time. See the whistle up there next to the smokestack. Based on how it looks, that is Allegheny Hooter whistle. And up by the number boards here, you can see the feed water heater. And all the pipes coming to and from it. Of course, we got all the steam pipes coming off of it to feed steam to the different devices. These ones feed directly to the cylinders on the front. And the ones at the back feed to the back. And this is a simple articulated locomotive, so all these pipes come directly from the steam dome, which is in the middle of the sand domes, right up there. So there's the steam dome, and opening the throttle will open the valve to allow into both sets of pipes at the same time to drive the locomotive. A compound articulated locomotive would have the backset drivers fed steam first, and then the exhaust steam is fed into a bunch of bigger cylinders at the front to drive the front set of drivers. So that's the difference between simple and compound articulated locomotives. In front of the lead truck here, you can see the rail washers. This will wash debris off the track or sand if it's going backwards. And the 1225 only has that device behind the drivers going the one way. So since this was used in coal drag service, it helps to have it going in both directions. Today we have flange lubricators, so that way we just cut through that. And so I know Union Pacific installed flange lubricators on the front trucks of the big boy, but they're now restored. And the difference here between the front truck on the 1225 is this one has Timken roller bearings, sealed roller bearings, directly lubricated by the lubricators. So don't have to worry about that. Any hot boxes on this one usually. We're gonna go take a look up in the cab. Okay, up here we have the firebox portion. You see the blow down on this side, and there's one on the other side too. And this one is only partially jacketed down the firebox. 1225 should be fully jacketed. We gotta get the jacket back on it, but that's gonna happen soon. This one's only partial jacket. And some steam engines only have jacketing on the boiler and not the firebox portion. The 1225 will have the jacket all the way down to the rivets. In here you can see the ash pan. No ashes inside of it. It's been pretty well cleaned out when it came here, so it's in pretty good shape. I'm actually not too surprised on that, as since the railroad was the last one to run it, that's how it would look. 1225 needs some work done to its ash pan, so we need to do some we'll be doing some of that later this year. Here we have the hose, where the hose connections would be, for the air blower to blow the ashes down the pan, which have all been removed. We have the air compression piston here on the outside of the truck. This is a 6-wheel trailing truck, one of the only ones used. It was basically so we could get the big firebox on the outside that we do. So yeah, just a massive locomotive. So we're going to take a look down here towards the tender. And we'll see about getting in the cab. Chesapeake and Ohio. Got the C&O for Progress logo there. Stuff similar to the outside of the 1225. You got the toolbox there. The rack for the re-rails, which have been removed. The thing about this tender is it's a different arrangement. You can see the 6-wheel truck in the front, and then we got an 8-wheel truck in the back. And that's to accommodate the large amount of water that is in the tank in the rear. So right up here, you can read that. It's 25,000 gallons of water and 25 tons of coal. Whereas the 1225 has 22,000 gallons and 22 tons. So we're going to get a look up in the cab now. Okay, so here we are outside the cab of the 1601, about to go in. And they got open as an interactive display. Well, interactive in the fact that it has sound in it, but not much else. But from up here you can kind of get a better look at how big the engine is. They actually had to put the air tanks on the top of the engine or to save room at the bottom. Like a lot of articulateds, close to the top. We got the steam separator up there for the blowdowns, big muffler, just like the 1225 and other locomotives you may have seen. The steam will go out, shoot out the top, and the water and residuals from the boiler will separate and go down the tailpipes. So that's how that device works. As you can see here, the flipper, you got the flipper window here, just like on a lot of locomotives, so the engineer can look out the window and not get hit by cinders or rain. They did remove the awning parts still, so those don't exist now. The window on this side, however, does work, so you can see that. And we're going to go inside now and get a look. So here's the tender. This is the bunker. You can see the Archimedes screw down there. Just get a look at how big this bunker is. And the size of the supports on the walls. Just how much coal this would actually haul. And they have a sound system in here for the sound of the coal falling down the pile. In here we see the cab, and we see the fire doors. You see the pot in there, and beyond it, the grates. And looking up, you can see they removed part of the arch bricks on the one side to give you a look back at the combustion chamber and the tube sheet. And of course, they left all the ashes in there the last time it ran, back in the 50s.
Do you want us to take your picture?
You can see right in here. You can see the thermic siphons. There's 3 of them. And like I said, there would be arch bricks over this one too. So you get an idea of just how big this one is compared to some of the other ones we've seen inside of.
Yeah.
Looking out of the cab on the fireman's side, see the model train display down there. So the fireman's side, not too bad. All the different devices have been undone. This one's kind of locked up. Some of them have been that way or have been released. Those are the stoker control valves. These ones specifically run the jets in the firebox there on the pot. And this will run the stoker jets, all of them. And we got the stoker controls up here, and the feed wire controls, heating controls. Up here we got the feed wire heater control. And basically just like the 1225 does. We got the fireman's control here, and then we got the bar that runs across to the engineer, so that the engineer can also run the feed wire. And you got your pressure gauge up there. All the way up. Got your wire sight glasses up here. Fireman's side. And over there you can see kind of see the engineer's side one, which is right there next to the water column. Then you got all your turret controls, your manifold control area that I call it. So you got the turret, main turret valve there. You got the dynamo, feed wire here, excuse me, feed wire here, stoker, injector, all the appliances have been off here. You got your washout plugs, your plaque here telling you how low the water is, the minimum amount. And then of course you got the low water alarm up here. You got your shelf to put all your lubrication up on. And of course you got the engineer's seat here. The seat box is locked, so you can't get into any of them. But one thing you notice is that the injector control valves have been removed. 1225s, of course, is the pull-up kind. This one would have had the Johnson bar type lever control, which you throw one way to eject the water in. Still have attachments though for the hose for the spray to hose off the deck, but no hose itself. You can see where it used to be on this side, but it's since been removed. Got holders for your lanterns up here. You got your lighting adapters here. This one's to plug in. Different type of cord there. Of course, you got your headlight controls up here too. And your engineer sits here and looks out the window, get an idea of what he sees. Of course, we're in a building, so. And of course, you got your throttle up here.
Wow, look at that big train thing.
And then you got your brakes down here. So you got your automatic train brake. You got the independent locomotive brake. And here's the reverser. So I'm pushing it forward, will go forward. Right now it's in the reverse position. And we got the whistle here. They've so graciously mounted an electric device onto it to work the sound system. And of course up here you got your valve for the bell, and it's only got one position on this one, so this is just a simple ring type, not the over the hinge type like the 1225 does.
Yeah, really.
And then these devices here, you see one here and one here. This is the front sander. This controls the front set of sanders, the front sandbox for the front engine assembly, and this one controls the rear one for the rear engine assembly. So yeah, very basically the same controls as 1225 has, just a little bit different. See here, there's the rail washer up here, and then you got your air brake gauges up here. And your steam pressure gauge for your steam chest. This will tell you exactly how much pressure is going into both sets of steam chests at the same time, since they're both fed at the same time. So it's basically the amount of steam coming out of the throttle valve. And of course, they're unlike the 1225 and other locomotives that had modifications into it. There is no speedometer, so you basically go by with how fast you're going down the tracks by the mileposts that you're passing and your watch. So that's basically as it is in a nutshell. All that you got here in the cab of the 1601. It's in pretty good shape. Whereas if it was outside, it probably would not. Again, referred to my video on the 5632. Yeah, down here, covered up though, you got the shakers for the grates, as well as the power cords running to the lights inside.
See this right here? This would be for a pole.
So, yeah, very nicely done job here at the Henry Ford.